Hello there, I'm Trevor Beast and I'll be reviewing and recapping GameOn Titans. So in case you're unaware, GameOn Titans is a show on Amazon Prime that was made in conjunction with the GameOn app. It features 8 Twitch streamers as contestants playing PUBG Mobile, submitting clips to certain challenges. If their clip is considered to be successful by the judges, they'll move on to the next round, whereas the 2 contestants with the worst challenge clips face off in elimination, resulting in game over for the losing contestant. Whoever reaches the finale and wins the final showdown is awarded $25,000 and the title of Ultimate Titan. The show has a fairly simple formula, and I have to say I enjoyed it. Despite the fact that I've never played PUBG Mobile, I was able to make sense of nearly every challenge, as the host did a nice job of explaining it. Speaking of the host, Sam and Powerbang were commendable. Each one helped balance the other, as Powerbang was more analytical and quite savvy about the intricacies of PUBG, whereas it seemed Sam had a more cheerful and creative side. We got a great batch of contestants in my opinion. All 8 of them have a competitive spirit, but each go about it in their own way. No one felt like they didn't belong there, as everyone brought something unique to the show while not holding back on their personality. If you haven't seen GameOn Titans yet, and you consider yourself a fan of video games or competition shows, then I'd recommend checking this out. And if you enjoy PUBG, then I'll bump it up from a regular recommendation to a strong one. The show is definitely on the shorter side of runtime, with only 6 episodes averaging about 17 minutes and 15 seconds per episode, so you could watch it all in under an hour and 45 minutes. It can be viewed on the GameOn app, Prime Video, or gameon.amazon.com/titans. I'd like to point out that they did film all this back in October of 2020, and the episodes were released weekly from April to May in 2021. In episode 1, after the format of the show is explained, we first meet the contestants, done by Powerbang and Sam alternating through brief interviews. While I don't mind this part at all, I think it would have been a better idea if these 8 contestants record their own biographical segments and include those before this interview section, such as directly telling the audience who they are, what their past experiences have been, both with gaming and outside of it, what they plan to do moving forward, etc. Perhaps then everyone can understand what other competition Novalite Sky competed in, or why LA Dream's favorite quote is, "Don't drink the scorpion milk." Real Blue TV himself said, "I've done a lot of things in my life."
I've done a lot of things in my life, Powerbang.
But we learn little about those things in the show itself. My sentiment is that if we can learn their backstory and personality directly, even just a little more, then we as an audience could be more invested throughout the season. Now we're moving on to the spoiler section, so take this as a warning if you haven't seen GameOn Titans. I won't be covering everything, but I'll talk about the most important parts for sure. Another fair warning, as I said a few minutes ago, I've never played PUBG, so I'm no expert in the game itself, but I still have some thoughts that I want to get out there, as well as showcase the game history of this season. The crossbow challenge was an effective way to kick off the show. However, I am still confused as to why Powerbang asked Sam to place a wager on how many would be successful, as she says 4 and Powerbang retorted with 3, and why that part was important enough to make the final cut of the episode, considering they never referenced it again or even directly stated how many were actually successful. I was fine with them skipping the crossbow evaluations for Tanya, All A Dream, and Novalite Sky to not drag on unnecessarily. Low-key RG and his flow state earned him the victory with back-to-back crossbow kills, giving him immunity for the following episode. I must say the editors did a fantastic job displaying Tim the Brody in the premiere episode, with the "I never miss"
Call me Legolas because I never miss
wonderfully incorporated a few times. Tim's level of arrogance was dangerously high.
How can I lose, man? It's impossible.
Making his termination all the more poetic. You couldn't ask for a better result.
Tim has crippled his chances potentially by jumping out of a moving vehicle.
Moving on to episode 2 on Equal Playground. Before I watched this one, I had a feeling Tiger Style was going to get ousted here. I still wonder what he was thinking uploading that clip without the Molotov cocktail being thrown and thinking that the judges will accept it with open arms. Not good. What else wasn't good was All A Dream burning her character to death, but lucky for her, the rules weren't stated clearly enough, and lucky for us, we got to see her hysterical reaction during the judge's assessment. I must also mention that Novalite Sky wins immunity for the following episode with a brilliantly placed Molotov cocktail. So Real Blue TV wins 10-2, and before Tiger Style gets a chance to load his settings, we roll on to episode 3, kill him with kindness. The challenge being win a game without a vest, helmet, or backpack. Real Blue won the challenge and earned himself immunity for episode 4. Gym leader Coda fell to the bottom 2 for not winning, while All I Dream fell to the bottom 2 for winning with both a backpack and helmet equipped. The wording could have been phrased a little better, but still, All I Dream has only herself to blame for not following the criteria. If she was confused by the rules of the challenge, All A should have asked for more clarification. Entering this elimination, I was convinced that Coda had this in the bag, enough to bet $20 on it. In the past 2 episodes, the gym leader showed real potential with the crossbow and didn't burn himself with the Molotov. About halfway into the elimination, Coda is up 4-1, and I'm feeling great about my prediction. But once I heard Ale say,
"Oh, this is it. This is it. It's over for me. I'm not going to do this."
I could tell that this was a fake-out quote and that a comeback was imminent. I've seen enough edited television to tell that they wouldn't include this in the middle of a challenge unless the opposite will happen. Not to mention, Ale didn't say that with any conviction in her tone.
"Oh, this is it. This is it. It's over for me. I'm not going to do this."
Nevertheless, Ale scores 7 unanswered kills to win 8-4 and advances to the following episode. Overall, it was a huge surprise to see Coda lose here, but credit to Ale for staying resilient in the heat of battle. In episode 4, Caught in the Crosshairs, the challenge is to get a headshot with an 8-time scope. Tanya Lynette wins this, but only receives immunity for the current elimination, and not the following one in episode 5. This is a good and necessary twist, because if Tanya was immune in episode 5, the other 3 contestants would automatically have a 2/3 chance of being in the bottom 2, whereas now it's 50-50. Tanya responds with, "Interesting," when she receives this news, but I know in actuality that she was much more angry when this occurred. Could the host have let all the contestants know ahead of time that the immunity for next episode was going to wear off at this point? Yes, but sometimes it's best to not let them know until they're on the spot for the purposes of shock appeal, as seen here. And in the bottom 2 is Low-Key RG and All A Dream, both there for not using the 8-time scope. Entering last elimination, I was convinced All A Dream was going home and was proven wrong. This time I was still convinced that All A Dream was going home, but by a slightly smaller degree. All A Dream continues to amaze me, establishing a 3-1 lead over Low-Key RG. With 25,000 on the line, Low-Key wisely resorts to some camping, hiding, and a few sneak attacks in the library to narrowly defeat All A 6-5 as time expires. This goes without saying, but man, it was a close match. All A Dream exits with class and her head held high. We're flipping over to the penultimate episode of Game On. For episode 5, contestants are tasked with landing a backflip on a motorcycle. Nova and Low-Key both avoid the bottom 2 by landing theirs, sending Tanya to the bottom 2 for the first time alongside Real Blue. Even though Low-Key RG got a kill in his clip in addition to the backflip, Nova nailed her backflip perfectly, making her the official winner of this challenge, of which I can agree with the decision. Then comes the twist that all 4 of them will be competing in elimination, a 2v2 match. Though Nova and Low-Key are still safe from elimination, they must team up with one of the other 2 players. Because Nova won the motorcycle challenge, she must choose her teammate, either Tanya or Real Blue, while Low-Key is assigned the unpicked player. I honestly think the smartest strategy is to pick the biggest threat, form an alliance with the unchosen contestant, and then throw the elimination challenge to eliminate said threat. But I understand that it's difficult to decipher which one is the bigger threat between Real Blue and Tanya, as Tanya has been safe up until this point and knows her way around PUBG, while Real Blue showed his prowess against Tiger Style in episode 2. Neither Real Blue or Tanya wanted Nova to pick them, making the decision even more difficult. Therefore, like a referee at the start of a football game, she flipped a coin.
I have a quarter. Real Blue TV is heads, Tanya is tails.
She flipped her coin, bro.
Girl, it's $25,000.
It is tails. So, Tanya, you're on my team.
All right.
We move into the town for the domination mode. First to complete 2 out of 3 objectives wins. Unfortunately, Nova has never played this mode before, and Low-Key is contemplating throwing the challenge as Real Blue is the one he's most worried about, which I can understand. Like I said, if you're safe and you believe your partner is a bigger threat to win the show than your opponent's partner, then throwing the comp is not a bad plan. Real Blue TV and Low-Key RG secure base C relatively quickly with the help of a large crate full of gear. Despite fighting to the bitter end, Tanya and Nova cannot establish control of base A, leading to Tanya's elimination at 4th place. Low-Key didn't go through with throwing it, realizing that he is a true competitor, and it was straight to work. Which brings us to the finale, accurately titled Winner Takes All. After the preliminary interviews, we are reunited with our 5 fallen competitors, and they give us their thoughts on the finalists. Tim is rooting for Real Blue, Gym Leader Coda and Tanya are rooting for Low-Key RG, All I Dream is hoping for Nova to bring it to the ballpark, and Tiger Style is indecisive. After that, we are treated/subjected to a 4v4 exhibition match with all the contestants. While it was nice to see all these people back, I'm still wondering why there is nothing at stake here. It could have been $100 for each winning team member, or an advantage for the finalists like 30 seconds deducted off of their score in the gun game time trial, something to that effect. Having this be just for fun doesn't really entice me as a viewer, but for those who want to know, Team A, the blue team, consisting of Low-Key, Tanya, Coda, and Tim, were victorious getting to 40 kills. Though I do want to point out that they messed up the graphics showing the opposing colors for each team right before this match started.
Huge congratulations to the blue team.
It is interesting how 40% of the finale has gone by before the rules of the first challenge is even explained. So now I'll explain it. This challenge is a gun game time trial, meaning that each finalist competes in 2 rounds, one against one competitor and the second against the other. Each game continues until both competitors get 5 kills each, or once 10 minutes expires. After a player gets 5 kills, their time will stop. Both times will be combined for each contestant, and the person with the highest overall time will be eliminated. I actually think this was a cool way of deciding who comes in 3rd place, as theoretically the best PUBG player could be taken out by having the other 2 players work together to get 5 kills each as quickly as possible in their round, and then constantly try to evade the unaligned player in hopes of getting time to expire in the other respective rounds. That didn't happen, but what did happen was Low-Key got 5 kills against Real Blue with just over 5 minutes of time, whereas it took Real Blue 8 minutes and 25 seconds. In the next round, Low-Key gets his 5 against Nova in under 3 minutes, which means he is automatically advancing as his combined time is already lower than Real Blue's 1 time. Nova completes her kills about 25 seconds later. So entering the 3rd round, Real Blue must get his 5 kills at least 5 minutes and 10 seconds before Nova does in order to stay alive, which also means given the 10-minute maximum time, he also has to complete his 5 kills in under 4 minutes and 50 seconds to even have a chance at surviving. Neither of those things happened. It took Real Blue 9 minutes and 39 seconds to get 5 kills, well over what he needed. But fortunately for us, Real Blue didn't calculate the math correctly, giving us this over-the-top, oblivious gem.
And trying to stop the clock, there it is. Real Blue stops it with 18 seconds to go.
Thank you, Real Blue. Real Blue gave us some funny moments throughout, including the line of teddy bears trying to figure out who's cuddliest in the form of a death match.
It's gonna be like watching 2 teddy bears try and figure out who's cuddliest in the form of a death match, and neither wants to punch each other.
His mom telling him to get a job at Home Depot.
She's kind of hot and cold, like, hey, you should get a job at Home Depot. Video games isn't gonna, and then the next day she's like, you're doing great, keep dreaming.
And then this misguided reaction. So I, for one, can appreciate everything Real Blue TV brought to the show. It is worth noting that Low-Key did let Nova get those kills early on him to help lower her time compared to Real Blue's. At the end of last episode, Low-Key realized that he was a true competitor by not throwing the challenge. This time, he realized he was a true tactician by orchestrating Real Blue's demise. That brings us to the final showdown between Nova Light Sky and Low-Key RG. First to 10 kills wins $25,000 and the title of Ultimate Titan. And believe it or not, it's a shutout victory as Low-Key RG wins 10-0. I certainly wasn't hoping for a blowout to end the show, but Low-Key took hold of the momentum and never let go of it. He certainly earned the title with that masterful performance. Congrats to you, Low-Key. The flow state is real. Nova Light Sky fought hard. It's a real shame that she walked away with nothing for being the runner-up. But like I said, they weren't lying with their finale title being Winner Takes All. Still, I'm remarkably impressed that Nova never reached the bottom 2 throughout the entire season and never played any PUBG or any first-person shooter game prior to this competition. That speaks for itself with the work that she put in. So overall, it was a good season, a fantastic and deserving winner, and a solid cast of contestants. Can't say it was the greatest show I ever seen, but I enjoyed it for what it was. If GameOn Titans gets a second season, there's a very high likelihood that I'll watch it. But we're not done with this video just yet, as we got the game history of GameOn Titans. I created this because for some reason GameOn Titans doesn't have its own Wikipedia page with a chart showing what happened. So here you go. And if you're still interested in more content covering GameOn Titans, then you're in luck, because I've created 3 trivia quizzes. One is a picture click of the contestants, it's very easy. Another is multiple choice trivia, and the third is a follow that line. Thanks for watching, my friend. It's game over for this video.